and the evolution of network security. Cyberweek, your one-stop solution for network security and cloud computing.
From their tea break session, okay? Basically, for the afternoon session, myself, we are going to give you our overview, the brand introduction, also the profile, introduction of Soundful technology, and what we offer for the latest technology, and what we are helping to adjust somehow the latest, the technology like AI or the big data analysis into the security products. Okay. Let me introduce myself here again. I think if yesterday some our guests are coming yesterday, so you will get to know me. So my name is Feng Yang. So I'm working as the managing director for the whole Soundful Middle Eastern and Africa region. Okay, we are based in our HQ based in the UAE, Dubai. So hopefully that now everybody's ready. So I would like to continue my session now. So as you may aware of that, so Soundful Technology, we are originally Chinese brand, Chinese vendor. Okay, we started in 2000, and this almost 24 years old company now in the whole global market. And globally, we have around more than 65 plus offices across the whole region. And it's a public listed company. Okay, you can search all the Soundful the information from the website. And we are more than 10,000 employees, the global company already. Okay, so this is somehow the background about Soundful, and let me just continue my slides about today's the topic here. So the first slide is about how the Soundful as a group company, our business infrastructure and architecture here. So basically, Soundful, we are working in 3 domains. Okay, first is cybersecurity, and then is the cloud infrastructure, and also the IT infrastructure. IT infrastructure, to be honest, is our newest the department. Okay, and also definitely as a group company, I would like to also give you some information about the Sangdri. Okay, is our sister company providing the Wi-Fi, apps and switches and the routers. Okay, for the infrastructure solutions also. And recently, we can see starting from the beginning of this year. So we are now partnered with Pro and also Mr. Joe here. So we are coming into the Kenya market. So this is our, very good start journey here. And later on, after this one, I will come into somehow give you some overview about the major solution of what Soundful providing, okay, in the market. And also, I will give you some idea about what this solution does, to help you to optimize your enterprise network management. Okay, good. Let's come into the first product. It's called so we call it Internet Access Gateway. Okay, so this product is in best-in-class secure web gateway security solution, SWG solution. If you heard about them before, so that controls access to and from the internet by preventing all the unsecure traffic from entering or leaving the internal network and of your organization, and by monitoring and controlling their behavior of network and the users, superior and in-house development, and also their designing, provide unparalleled visibility in all user identities, applications and protection of their all network users. So we have listed down some of the major features of the solution, okay? So it can help you to meet all the compliance, especially for all the public sector, even the enterprise banking sectors. You have the compliance for internet users, right? So this solution can be you can see help you to managing your network properly. I just give you an example, like in China. So basically, all the public sectors, they under the compliances, right? So all their data, for example, in your network, if you're trying to send some sensitive data, maybe some comments or some illegal information you want to post on their website, or you're trying to use some social media to post it, some anti-country or this kind of, the words there. So you will be easily found by we call the network department, the police. So they will find it easily. So this is solution. You can see this IAG is you can see 100% deployed in all the public sector for any department. Can help you to meet all these compliance. Even for example, in education sector, for example, in University of Nairobi. So now you can see here, I think the schools also providing the Wi-Fi. I mean, the education Wi-Fi. And they're, from maybe software telecoms, they provide Wi-Fi for education sector. So all students, they will access the internet to, freely if there's no control. Like if there's or like an illegal website or some, improper website. So for this device, it can help you to control in a proper way. Okay. Then the second product is about their next generation application firewall. I think this is also from the IT industry, especially from the cybersecurity industry. You must know this product, of course, right? Firewall. Who does not know, right? So for some side, in the next generation firewall, this is one of the, the very, very, you can say a good, the world classes the firewall in the overall the world. So this is our next generation application firewall, and it's truly innovating product. Okay, so since it's the worst, we are the world first AI enabled next generation application firewall. You can see here probably the rating will be very small, and we are first vendor for the firewall vendors to introduce the AI-based Engine Zero model. It's AI-based antivirus models, and also the AI-based NeurX threat intelligence into the integrated firewall to help you. As I think this morning, one speaker, mentioned about firewall. Mostly firewall is signature-based, but to be honest, the reality is most firewall now in the market you find is integrated with AI or powered by AI or intelligence, because we understand the signature-based firewall is no more effective. Okay, so you need to embrace all the latest technology AI. They can use the UEBA behavior analysis to do all machine learning by himself. You can do all the automatic blocking based on the behavior analysis on that, right? This is how it can be for example, I just like zero-day attack is become and also the APT, advanced APT attack become a very serious now, and easily, because every second, even like today, it's more than maybe thousands of the new viruses coming out, right? If you're relying on your traditional firewall, perimeter-based firewall, definitely you cannot secure your network 100%, right? But with this we understand this new threats and advanced and also the disadvantage from the traditional one. So that's why we bring all new technology here. And also you can see here, some for firewall we are a well-recognized product in the market. Okay, like in Gartner, I think because I think most of our guests today, you're from this background, IT background, or you're from the IT industry itself, right? So for Gartner, I don't want to mention too more, but it's US-based world famous, the tier one, the third-party analysis analysis They do all the latest technology reporting, or also the analysis for that. Okay, so some for firewall next generation firewall has been in the Gartner for more than 8 years, consecutively. Okay. And we named it as a visionary quadrant since 2022 as a Chinese brand from there. Okay. And the then coming products is some for the endpoint security. So endpoint security is, to be honest, is a must for all kinds of the organizations, right? It doesn't matter you're from a new startup or your education sectors or your private sectors. When you're considering the security in your environment, endpoint security must be there, right? So because it's the gate for protecting all the entry point. Okay, like maybe you don't have server in the beginning, but you must have laptop. Okay, so laptop will become entries because all your data, your employees, you store data in the laptop itself, right? Because data is become very expensive now. If you lose your data as a startup, you will lose everything. Okay, especially in the very fast commercial market. Okay, so from some for endpoint security itself, it's a combination. I'm not sure if some of, I guess you read about the Gartner latest report about endpoint security, the trends. So they mentioned EDR is no more. So EDR maybe is a famous name for you, but EDR is no more the future no more the wise feature for the future. But now they name it as EPP solution, endpoint protection. The platform itself, because this MPP solution is combination of antivirus ADR and some other, even the NAC features for that. So we more prefer to name our endpoint security as an EPP solution because it's combination. We integrate the world class of their antivirus databases inside, and also with the AI engine, as big data analysis, machine learning all inside there, and also it's integrated with EDR and NAC features inside. Okay. And also, the big difference between some for endpoint security other than the solution you get from the market, like Kaspersky, you name it in the market. So our endpoint security is also have a unique, strongest part in the anti-ransomware protection. Okay, we have honeypot, deception, every features inside that to help to provide you the anti-ransomware protection solution for that. This is a very good one, and we last 2 months and 2 months ago we launched a new version. Our R&D claiming that to the public sector, to the publicly, so that we can block the ransomware in 1 second. So this is our commitment from Soundfort itself. Okay. The coming is Cyber Command. Cyber Command, the name probably you may, as name of this one, Cyber Command, right? Commander is especially in the military sector. Commander means it's more intelligent. It has all the information. So our Cyber Command product is we locate it as a NDR solution, natural detection response solution. Okay. I don't want to mention more about the NDR, what it does, but for NDR itself, it can help you to firstly provide threat detection. Okay, to help you to detect all the traffic inside the network, not only in the north to west, west to north, the north to south and the east to west traffic. You can gather all the traffic inside. It doesn't matter, from anywhere from the VPN sector. If I caught all the raw data from your core switches and all from your security component, the equipments. Okay. It can also do threat hunting and through threat response, okay? And according to the Gartner report, and the Soundfort Cyber Command is the top 5 NDR vendor, talking about revenue-wise, okay? In top 5 globally. Okay, this is somehow the big strength of the Soundfort NDR itself. It can also integrate with our firewall and endpoint security, and also it can integrate with third party. Okay, the most famous vendor in the market to give you the correlation and also to collect all the information, provide intelligence. And then it's coming for the Zero Trust, Soundfort Trust. Okay, so Soundfort Trust can, it's the next level of the remote access. Okay, I think most of our guests, if you're from their enterprise level, you must use the VPN, right? VPN, it doesn't matter, it's some SSVPN or IPsec VPN or standard. Okay, so the Zero Trust can protect the security of the business access and the business system, with a very new higher level. This can help you to identify all identity of the access person. I think in the morning we mentioned about the multi-factor authentication and even the biometric authentication now. So the Zero Trust itself, it can integrate all the those kinds of authentication parameters, authentication, and also it will give you fully visibility of the application level traffic. Now, the VPN, you imagine it, the VPN as a VPN, what you can get from it in the logs from the system, you can only see which user in which time log in, right? Log in and log it out. That's it. You don't know what he did with the VPN itself, but with Zero Trust, it can give you full visibility, like in which time, which person, which user account, how long he did, and what documents he downloaded, what documents what category he going through, and this is kind of an example where what the Zero Trust can provide you difference in the remote access. Okay, this is a very good. To be honest, I can see this is a must now for all, especially sensitive sectors, critical infrastructure sectors like bank sector, telcos, and even government sectors. Right? Okay, this can be a next alternative for you to upgrade your VPN solution. Okay, then coming for the Sunfire HCI. So I think. Must be some guest now. You'll be familiar with the virtualization, right, and cloud solution. The Sunfire HCI, the full name is Hyper-Converged Infrastructure. This is a start, the products for us. And I just give you an example. And in Italy, in Europe, okay, Italy, and also in South Africa. So I just mentioned Italy first. We sold to more than 300 customers just within 1.5 half years to all the customers, including telco, banking, healthcare, hospitals, and also the manufacturers. Okay, Europe is the backyard of the American products, right? I think all have a guest from US, so you understand that. For Chinese products, if you can enter in this European market, means that you have really, really strong points, can convince them to get these products, no matter technically or other perspective. Okay, and we also build in a lot of cloud solutions here. Even in Kenya, now we have our cloud. We have partner here, so they build their cloud, the small setup cloud here using our Sunfire HCI and plus cloud platform here. Okay. So basically, let me just give you an idea about what does the hyper-converged infrastructure does. It can, basically in the ideal world, right? You have in the data center. What are you usually going to do? You have the server, right? Physical servers and disk, storage and then network switches, routers, right? Even definitely you need to in a data center. You have to have security components, no matter firewall, endpoint security, or NDR, you name it, right? This is all the solution there. But with Sunfire HCI, we can help you to provide fully completed software-defined data center. It means you can virtualize in the compute, like CPU, memory, all those, storage, and the network, and the security can all be achieved and virtualized in the platform itself. You can imagine that one box can provide all the features, especially for the small to medium-sized business. You can have 2 server, 3 server maximum. You can have everything inside. Secured, fully integrated. It can dramatically simplify your operation in the CapEx and OpEx. It's considerate, right? Then the common product is for the showing the capability. Also, I would like to also mention here the Sunfire HCI product itself is always in Gartner, for more than 5-6 years already, and we're competing with the most famous brands, as you name it. And so this is showing the capability here. So we're not a small brand, not a new solution in the market. It's been well tested and well trusted by the customer and partners. Okay. Here, definitely, when we mention about the hyper-converged infrastructure, right, we must have to mention about the virtual desktop infrastructure. So especially in we have here in the University of Nairobi, right, they have a lab, they have a library, the electric library, right, so they have all the physical laptops. Right? So the VDI solution is the best suitable for those kind of scenario, even the banking sector, telco sector. So we can basically how that works. So you have everything in there, all your laptops in the physical systems can be all virtualized in the data center itself. Okay, so you have all the virtual machine. From the user end, you have only the still have the monitor and the keyboard and the mouse, right? All the data will be stored in the back end, in the store in data center, right? So firstly is you can dramatically simplify your operation. Okay, your operations works, and also can help you to manage it in a very secure way. right? So this is it. For Sound4 side, we are providing you the end-to-end solution. And from market, you may heard about VDI, but most of the VDI vendors in market, they're providing the hardware separately. They need to go for different vendors to provide the hardware, no matter the servers, the physical server, or the thin client, or zero client, right? As I mentioned, they only provide software. But in Sound4, we provide you end-to-end support, from the hardware, software, and the thin client, all from Sound4. We don't use any third party, okay? Definitely we can integrate, but it's full solution from Sound4. This can dramatically to simplify your support work. If anything happens to hardware, software, you get to Sound4 for support, okay? And easy for maintenance, definitely. Okay, so the next one coming to is for, I want to show you that recognition is about, I just mentioned about some major products listed in Gartner, right? But majorly, I can say we have more than 6-7 products listed in Gartner for many years already. I just will give you an introduction. SCI is just now we mentioned about hyperconverged infrastructure. IH is our internet access gateway, and then it's VPN, our one optimization, SSVPN, zero trust, pop from the category, and then the one optimization, load balancer, AD is our application delivery controller, is our load balancer, okay? And the NG firewall and SSVPN, okay? This is showing that as a vendor itself, we are quite competitive in this market already, okay? I think this is also the firewall showing for the firewall, the visionary quadrant for more than 8 years in the market already. So I think that is all for my brief introduction of the company profile itself. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I had to sneak in because his English is too British. Trained in Spain and lives in Dubai. You know what I'm talking about. I want to talk about this solution on just 2 issues. One issue is HCI. And it's nothing better than walking around when you have a weapon by yourself. For those of you who are techie or you are making decisions for solutions on cybersecurity, hyperconvergence infrastructure, Sound4 is an equal opportunity solution. And why I'm saying that, Gartner cannot list you if they don't know what you're doing. If you have a phone, just pick up and open Gartner and do something called compare. And all of you know which firewall you're using in your office or in your workplace or wherever you are. Please compare Sound4 with 3 other options of firewall. I traveled to China to go to the hardware where they manufacture the product, and I didn't know whether it was good. Until I went to Dubai and I found that the products we are using in Africa are not even used in Europe. They're not even used in Europe. Africa is the place whereby they do the testing for the products they do the selling and distribution of products which are not on the top range. Go to Gartner and /compare and put Sound4, then put any other firewall you think. I will not say more about that. You'll change your mind. Another thing I want to say about this firewall is not even the firewall, the solutions they have. It's one product of the Sound4 security fabric. For example, the firewall itself. You buy one box, it has everything you need. You don't need Wi-Fi, you buy another box. You don't need access control, you buy another box. You don't buy an extra hardware to get an extra solution for this firewall. So we are starting distribution and sales in Kenya. For those who want to register or see sample tests and run products in the office, will be available. You can register with us and we can walk through the journey with you. We are starting a support center in Kenya, and I'm working closely with him. He's based in Dubai, and this distribution mostly is Europe. It took me a lot of time to convince him there is opportunity in Africa, especially in East Africa. But I told him, this is how I got him. If it gets into the Kenya market, it has gone to East Africa, around 5 other countries. So most of the support you need is from the people who have had it right from the spot. Not because of it's a better product and there's better money, the price is cheaper, but because of the bottom-up economy. We're starting from down going up. Thank you, guys.
Bottom-up economy. Wow. So thank you for that wonderful presentation, Sang4 team and John. So I will not talk much, but I just have one question, and then we can proceed to as Mr. Meru Ronald is preparing for his presentation. Why did I have a joke? That is a joke, guys. Sometimes I have to, put a disclaimer so that you find it funny. Working on that. Why did hackers move to Africa? Mikes. Weak security. Wow, the guys are still not getting my joke. Any trial? Very fast? Yeah, the microphone is there. Anyone who wants to try? Yes, please, mic here.
Africa is a fertile ground for not being fully exploited.
What? Say what? That's a good one. At least now we're getting there. So according to me, my answer is they moved to Africa because there is a whole safari of networks. So I think we can have Ronald next on stage. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Ronald on stage from KNCCI.
Thank you, MC. Actually, on that question about hackers, I thought it is because Africa is the hub of mobile money. So I would have expected that's why all the hackers are looking to come to Africa. But anyway, esteemed colleagues, innovators, developers, my valued panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. So by way of introduction, my name is Ronald Meru. I chair Trade and Economic Diplomacy at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I also am the vice chair of the Nairobi chapter of the KNCCI. So we are honored to be here today. And first of all, I was requested to be speaking in terms of supply chain risks and also management of mentorship. So today we are honored and privileged to join you today to discuss this interesting, complex nature of our global supply chains and the pivotal role of mentorship in enhancing our management practices. The intricacies of the interconnected economies require not just only awareness, but proactive strategies to mitigate risks and foster resilience. We need to understand our supply chain risks in our modern economy. Supply chains represent the backbone of commerce, yet they are fraught with many challenges. From the logistical hurdles and regulatory changes to broader geopolitical tensions and the ever-present cyber attacks. The stability of supply chains is usually a perpetual risk. I was happy today to be listening, I believe that was Pentra, where they're looking at Penetra, what was it, they named the company that was here earlier? Penetra, who are doing the vulnerability tests, which actually looks at the validating your security systems in whichever environment that you're running in. As you know now, cybersecurity is a big concern, even not only for the Chamber of Commerce, but in everywhere that we are looking at. And I like also a point that was highlighted earlier, where I think we need to look at, as the government and also all stakeholders, the hackers. I think it was raised by the gentleman from Cambridge. is that to see how do we nurture these talents. We don't need to really look at just prosecuting them, but maybe these are people who could ensure that our systems are totally secure, and how do we grow this talent. So this is feedback, at least I can say, we've been able to pick up from today's conference. So the recent global trends and events include pandemics, including the pandemics and technological disruptions have only highlighted these vulnerabilities, showing us how critical and robust this management is. So most of you will be wondering, what is the role of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry? So as part of the KNCCI, we are deeply committed to equipping our members with tools and knowledge to navigate these challenges. Through our education programs and even workshops like this, which are sponsored by CyberPro, our partners in KNCCI, we are very honored that you've come up with this conference today. Let's appreciate CyberPro for this. So through education programs, workshops, we strive to enhance the understanding and implementation of effective risk management strategies. These initiatives are tailored to help businesses identify potential risks, develop mitigation strategies, and prepare contingency plans that ensure business continuity. On my next point, in terms of management mentorship, so mentorship stands as a cornerstone to strengthen our strategy in supply chain management. By connecting emerging businesses with experienced professionals within our network, we facilitate transfer of knowledge. This is both locally and internationally, where we not only give skilled development and knowledge transfer to our local enterprises, but also to international and global expertise. Whenever we have our trade missions, we also have expertise in terms of ICT and cybersecurity. We'll be inviting you to attend most of these trade missions, even internationally, and also foster a supportive community. The success stories we've witnessed within the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry community underscore the value of sharing experiences and solutions, helping the newer companies thrive even when they face a substantial supply chain disruptions. Enhancing resilience through innovation and technology. Moreover, we advocate for adopting of cutting-edge technologies, as it was mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, analytics tools, the BI tools that we are all aware of. These tools not only bring transparency and efficiency, but also greatly enhance the ability of supply chains to adapt to changes and recover from the shocks. It is through innovation that we can build supply chains that are not only efficient, but are also resilient. Ladies and gentlemen, so our call to action to strengthen collaboration. As we move forward, I urge all businesses here today to engage more deeply with industrial groups and to collaborate broadly with your peers. It is through collective effort that we can tackle the challenges that lie ahead. By sharing our knowledge, resources, and innovation, we can transform our supply chains into models of sustainability and resilience. As I close, I want to reaffirm the commitment of Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, unwavering commitment to support all facets of supply chain management. Together with the education, mentorship, collaboration at the forefront, we are setting the stage for the future of our supply chain. Our supply chains do not only survive disruptions, but thrive in spirit. Allow me also today to just to let you know that the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry was won the bid to host the World Chamber Federation Conference that's going to be held here in April next year. So we'll be also inviting you as developers, people in cybersecurity, to come and explore and exhibit what you're able to do for the global market. We're expecting over 4,500 international business community coming here, and this will be seeing more of this information, and we welcome you to this. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to a productive discussion and fruitful collaborations that will stem from our time together here today. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, sir, for the presentation. I think we'll jump right onto the next presentation by the next speaker. So He's a renowned guy in the industry. He's an expert in information security governance, risk management, and data protection. With over a decade of experience, he has led successfully GRC certifications in key programs like ISMS, BSMS, PCI, DSS, GDPR, and cybersecurity incident response. His work spans sectors including finance, energy, petroleum, and humanitarian organizations, where he has enhanced critical infrastructure security. Mikhail played a key role in driving cybersecurity mainstreaming efforts in Kenya's energy and petroleum sectors, resulting in sector-specific cyber and physical security guidance notes. I'm hoping after this we can get a voucher for fuel. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mikhail Mugotitsa. Round of applause.
So all protocol observed. Good afternoon. So he has already covered most of this. See some resemblance there. So I like to think of myself as an agile, transformative leader. That, of course, depends on who is asking and also who is responding to that. Beyond that, as is stated, I have experience in different compliance portfolio, and I've been able to implement successfully different programs, PCI DSS, PIN security, ISMS, business continuity management system, incident response, and data protection. So that's a brief about me. Of course, we all have our LinkedIn version. It's different from what I just said. I have an MSc in Information Security and Digital Forensics, an MBA. I have a Bachelor's in Information Science, and I'm currently a student at the University of Nairobi, undertaking Bachelor's of Law. Besides that, I have very many certifications. As Daktari said, security is about self-initiative. So you must be interested in researching and reading a lot. And certifications are just a way to demonstrate that you actually have attained that knowledge. It's more like a trophy to me. So this will be the roadmap. We'll cover cybersecurity challenges and then talk about frameworks and strategies, and then look at the priorities for 2025. Then also just ask ourselves, why are we playing catch up as it relates to cybersecurity? So they say a problem is halfway solved if you are able to write it down. And this mostly usually makes me think of the cybersecurity challenge. So are we talking about a zebra? Is it a giraffe? Is it a donkey? And that is what really, when we think about cybersecurity, that's what comes to our mind. So I'll take you back to the trenches. I'll try to simplify it as I can, to ensure that first we understand the challenge, the value for cybersecurity to the business. There's a gentleman who presented here and said that cybersecurity is an enabler. So what cybersecurity does, we enable the business to meet its objectives while keeping the risks on acceptable levels. So that is really what cybersecurity is about. So part of the challenges is that data breaches have become a constant thing. It's a reality now. Today, if you Google, there is a cyber attack that has happened somewhere. Then no one wants to be the next cyber breach. especially leadership. I've interacted with many leaders. They don't want to be the next cyber breach. Then we have limited resources. So you have to balance your cybersecurity needs and the financial needs, resources. So basically there's a balancing act to ensure that you get value-based controls. So if you're going to get a security solution, then it needs to be value-based. You need to look at your environment and ensure that you're getting the best solution, the highest value based on your risks. We are also facing insider threats, which are becoming as dangerous as external threats. So you've seen cases where organizations are compromised by an internal employee. So they are approached for different reasons. They sometimes give access to external attackers. So that is one thing that we are also looking at. Then cyber risk management is still evolving. It is quite an interesting field. With the advancement in technology, you find that there are a lot of changes that are coming up that we need to keep up with. And that, of course, also covers our aspects around cyber threats that are rapidly evolving. And based on that, I've interacted with many leaders and even stakeholders. We have the same interest. We want to adapt. We want to ensure that we've secured our infrastructure. And that's why sometimes I get into a lift and I meet, let's say, the CEO. He says, good morning, Michael. Are we safe? Are we hack-proof? These are the questions that leaders are asking. What needs to be done to secure the infrastructure? And are we doing those things in the first place? And do we have the right people to protect our infrastructure? And that, of course, joins into the aspect of workforce within our environments. So think of it, sometimes you have your car and there's a funny noise that the car is making. You know there is something that needs to be done about that noise, right? But you're not a mechanic. So you take your car to the mechanic and you say, just do whatever you will do, but I don't want to hear that noise. So think of that as the other stakeholders who do not know much about cybersecurity. They know there's something that needs to be done, and they rely on the cybersecurity experts to do this. So relating cybersecurity to enterprise risk, we have 5 major enterprise risks, and that is the strategic, financial, operational, legal, and reputational. So whenever you talk about cybersecurity, if you are breached, it means you will move away from your strategic direction. If it's a ransomware, you will have financial losses. If you are giving services, you will have operational challenges. You will be sued, litigations due to data breaches, and your reputation will be ruined. So this is an interest for businesses and organizations, and also as a country, it's a priority. So there's a gentleman there who talked about issues around budgeting. And sometimes, having interacted in different sectors, I've experienced this. When you're asking for a budget allocation, there's no money until you are hit by a cyber attack. And then the face changes, the conversation changes. In fact, you tell yourself, I wish we could be, somehow hacked every month. Then would really make progress. So just quick on this, we've talked about CIA, tried confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I'd like to introduce authenticity and non-repudiation, and this is just to ensure that you are not able to deny the communication that you initiated or you had at a future date. So whenever you're talking about cybersecurity, these are the 5 major elements that you'll be working towards. So for those who do not believe in cybersecurity, whenever I think about that, this is what I see, right? So you deliberately decide to, just operate like one of those guys. So you really need to put some thought to it. Finally, I'll cover something here on that section, on cybersecurity frameworks. So as we said, you have to get some direction and treat it as a program. So we have control frameworks, we have program frameworks, we have risk frameworks. So think of control frameworks as a recipe, right? You have your ingredients, you need to prepare some things, a meal. So a control framework will tell you what ingredients you'll put into that pot while you're cooking. For instance, CIS control frameworks. Then you get to program frameworks. These are things like ISO 27001 NIST cybersecurity framework. That is your menu. So when you go, you check the menu, it will tell you what meal is there, and then what controls you're putting in place, which are your ingredients. And finally, risk frameworks. Remember we said that cybersecurity is an initiative towards managing risks. So risk frameworks are such as ISO 27005, Mighty Attack, and so on and so forth. So whenever you think about security and a program and a strategy, think how you've married all these aspects together. Then that brings us to governance, issues around governance. This is the structure, strategy, policy, standards, and processes. And the idea is to ensure that we have a strategic alignment, risk management, and compliance. So I'll move fast because I think we are limited on time. These are some of the principles in cybersecurity that we've talked about: defense in depth, least privilege access, separation of duties, security by design and privacy by design, and keeping it simple. When you're talking about cybersecurity, try and keep it simple so that sometimes you find there are experts who put in controls that are very complex, that it's easier for the user to bypass the security controls than for them to comply to the security controls. So that's a major aspect. You need to always think that you are actually enabling the business. So you don't need to be a bottleneck within the organization. You need to collaborate, work with all the stakeholders to ensure that you're driving security. And that is how you'll also build a security culture. Now, this is just an example of defense in depth. It is a concept that we replicate it in our real life. For instance, in a castle, you'll have different levels of protection. Then I'll mention something on cloud and on-premise before going to the priorities. So, of course, there's the discussion around what is more secure, what is cheaper. For me, I always say cloud is someone else's computer. Just, you should always have that in mind. So, and when you're talking about cloud, there is the shared responsibility model. Whenever you are planning the migration, think about it. So if you are on premise, it is your responsibility. Cyber security, information security is your responsibility all the way. Infrastructure as a service, it means you've now hired the infrastructure. You've given up that responsibility. Then you move to the platform as a service. As you see, the blue demonstrates how your responsibilities are reducing. And then you get to software as a service. Still, security is your responsibility. So in as much as you are moving to cloud, remember you still have to ensure there's security, because you see information, data, device, account identities, identity and directory infrastructure is still your responsibility. Now, there's someone who talked about technology, people, and processes. Those are the tools that we have as cyber defenders. On the other side, the attackers have the tactics, techniques, and procedures. So think of it as a chess, those who play chess, a game. So whenever there's an attacker who tries to phish, to trick users, that's a social engineering. So that is a technique or a tactic or procedure, TTPs. We have to counter that with technology, people, and processes. And so in the process, we'll implement email filtering and then do security awareness. And that is how the two relate. So having said that, there's the priorities that we need to look at, and there's a list of many things that we can do, good things, but we have to select a few that will have the greatest impact. Remember, we said we need value-based controls. So we need to ensure that whatever decision we make will have the greatest impact in our infrastructure to protect our cyberspace. These are some of the situations we are trying to avoid. You find there are cases when you are doing your business continuity tests, you get, 90% scoring, 95, but when the real incident occurs, things change, right? We have backup admins. They say, okay, we can restore servers in this recovery time objective or RPO, right? But then when the incident occurs, they simply tell you, we didn't say we can restore all the servers at once. So it is one server at a time. And therefore, it leads us to the next questions. What are our biggest blind spots? So if we answer these questions, then we have our priorities. What are our biggest cybersecurity blind spots? How prepared are we to detect, respond to, and recover from cyber incidents? So even when you're designing a cybersecurity strategy, these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. Are we adapting to the evolving threats? Are our cybersecurity investments aligned to the strategic goals? And then is cybersecurity integrated into our culture and decision making? Now I'll propose adapt as a strategy. I mentioned earlier that leaders want to adapt. Everyone is interested in the cybersecurity conversation and we want to adapt. And this is to do the assessment, detection, adaptation, prioritization, and team and culture. So on the first question, we want to focus on assessing weaknesses and identifying blind spots. Then we want to emphasize the need for detection and incident response. We want to stay ahead against new and emerging threats, and then we want to ensure strategic alignment with the cybersecurity, and finally, the importance of cybersecurity as an organizational culture. So this is our first priority that we really need to look at. We need to strengthen cybersecurity governance and national policy frameworks. And in this, we have key focus areas, which will be the CISO organization, establishment of the CISO organization based on the CMCA. He is on my case, so let me just wind up. So CMCA regulations, and then we have the SOC, which is still in the regulations, having a security operations center, cutting across different sectors, so organizations building to the sectors, and then to the countrywide security operation center. And then we need to strengthen cybersecurity compliance framework and then we talked about zero trust architecture and the CIS framework. Second, to enhance critical infrastructure protection. And the key areas here is to protect energy grids, transportation system, and financial infrastructure as a priority. Capacity building and cybersecurity workforce development. So here we are looking at the academia partnerships and also to develop targeted training programs. Then we talked about capacity building, of course. You can Google that. It's called the NIS framework. It stipulates and guides on how you can build a cybersecurity team and what skills you need and which are the areas that you need to develop skills on. So it's a good tool that you need to look at. Then cybersecurity awareness and public education is also a key area of focus. And here, one of the questions talked about leaders who need to approve our budgets and they have no deep understanding of what they are trying to approve. So we need to build capacity. We need to train board of directors. We need to train leadership so that they make a decision that is informed. We need to emphasize on the differences between digitalization, and automation. Most of the time you find we can't even tell the difference, and yet we need to approve a budget to drive such initiatives. We need to secure our digital government and business services as another priority for 2025. And then data protection and privacy compliance. We have 4 more to go. Cyber threats, I've put ransomware in brackets because it's a key threat that we are facing. Yes, it's a cyber threat, but it stands out. And then cybercrime defenses as a priority. And then cloud security and hybrid environments. We also need to ensure that we are evaluating the risks, total cost of ownership as we migrate to cloud and integrate cloud. Then cybersecurity investments and technology upgrades. What we've seen here, the teams have presented different products and solutions that will be good for cybersecurity initiatives. And then we've talked about supply chain security and vendor risk management, global and regional cybersecurity collaboration as a priority also. And the final one is to ensure that emerging technology adoption and integration has strategies. So for example, we have AI, we have quantum computing. We foresee a place where accessibility to quantum computing will change dynamics. There are some of the cryptography algorithms that would take 2 years to crack, but with quantum computing that could change to 2 days, right? So we need to ensure that as we do our strategies, we are looking at emerging technologies. With AI, we need to ensure we integrate AI into our workforce to ensure that we do not entirely rely on AI, but have strategies to build our capacity without losing the real knowledge and ensuring that you trust but verify some of these technologies. So you can use AI, but ensure you read through, verify the output, and also have facts about what you are presenting. So that's it. I'll skip that slide and I'll welcome any questions if you have any. Either the presentation was very good or we are hungry. Which is it? Or both? Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, sir, for the presentation. And now, all of you who registered, using their emails, you'll be able to get all the PowerPoint presentations. So don't worry, you can be able to go through them in your own free time. All right. So from the guys who are not from Africa, I want to be able to share with you Africa's favorite hackers proverb, that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you make sure that your firewall is up. Yeah, come on, guys. Now, just, I know you guys are somehow tired kidogo, but we're just finishing up. The one more speaker for only 15 minutes. And then we can go. So speakers, please don't leave. We have your gifts. There is a closing ceremony in the afternoon, so please don't go far away. Plus, we also have a Q&A that we have not done with the audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the next speaker on stage, who is Gowi Odera. Round of applause.
Hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Good afternoon. I know you are waiting to eat, so I will not take too much of your time. What I want us to be able to talk about today is next generation, next technologies, and next threats. As you heard, my name is Gowi Odera. I deal especially with thinking through what goes on in next generation. I am a futurist. If you want to put me in a box, that is where I'm thinking. Allow me to get into my presentation today, and thank you very much for this invitation to speak. End of the millennium, 4 significant things happened in Kenya. Millennium meaning the 2000s. First, in Kenya, there was the end of the KANU regime. And in came NAC government with a clarion call, Yote Yawezekana, Bila Moi. I like interacting. So if you know an answer, you can do that. Yeah? Okay. The new government led by Mwai Kibaki focused on 4 fundamental things. One was promoting democratic space, investing in critical infrastructure, full adoption of information and communication technology in all sectors, and the introduction of free primary education. As a result of this, ladies and gentlemen, more civic engagement happened that was unprecedented in this country. It had a multiplier effect with business and commerce. Local and international investors grew in confidence exponentially. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics research that they did, between 2003 and 2012, Kenya's economy grew on an average year-on-year basis of 7% GDP growth. While this was happening, critical infrastructure was being buttressed with local financing. Instead of seeking foreign direct investment, which Kenya had been starved on, the government divested ownership of state corporations through initial public offers. For those of you who are old enough to remember, KenGen, Safaricom, Kenya Power, just to mention a few, public were allowed to, for the first time in Kenya's history, Wananchi. Wananchi, for those of you who are not Kenyans and familiar with the Kenyan lingo, Wananchi means citizens, or citizens could both invest in critical infrastructure entity and also share in the wealth. By the time the next government took over, Kenya had reduced power outages by over 60%. There was a time, for those of you who are much younger, to know in the 90s, between 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock, there was no power at all. For those of you older, I think you would have remembered at that time, there was no power. We used to have what we call power rationing. And it changed. Another 25% of Kenya's population of households were connected onto the power grid. And the road of shifting of power generation moved from what we had as diesel power and all that. Just in that investment, Kenya was now on a path of going to renewable energy. Today, Kenya boasts to be one of the leaders in generation of energy, renewable generation. The goal is to reach past 90%. As at 2020, we were at 70%. Another thing, bear with me, there's a reason why I'm going through a historical context that brings us here. Another thing that government did was a full adoption of information and communication technology into government operations and governance services. And this gave a rise into the ICT authority, what we know and what we today know as a Ministry of ICT. Just in one move, Kenya's leap forward into the information age made us a leader within the region. To date, over 13,700 kilometers of fiber cable have been laid within the Republic of Kenya. And if the government is true to its promises, we hope another 100,000 kilometers of fiber cabling are going to be placed in Kenya in the next 5 years. Friends, this drastically reduced the cost of communications considerably, bridging the digital divide that had existed in our country. Third thing I want to say is still waters run deep. While all this was happening, the free primary education got over 5 million children. This was the fourth thing that government did. 5 million children who were once excluded from school because of costs, at that point, now have access to basic education. This is now law and is enshrined in our constitution here in Kenya. This notwithstanding, now we can see there is more pressure in secondary schools, having to build greater infrastructure to absorb a ballooning population of primary school graduates. Our secondary school education infrastructure is the most stressed right now because more needs to be invested there. Now, for over 20 years, almost 23 million Kenyans have benefited from this government policy. And the generation of Kenyans who have experienced this, I want to say, are the most privileged and fortunate. Free democratic space, digital government services, a robust transport and communication services, significantly low costs in communication, high access to internet, job creation, and I can continue to list more and more and more. According to the second quarter statistics of the Communication Authority, this was last year, over 47 million subscriptions to data and internet are happening right here through mobile broadband. The penetration of smartphones today stands at just above 60%. With a large population with access to the knowledge of Internet of Things, we now have a platform like this All that I've told you has created an ecosystem like this to have a conference like this. We take that for granted. But history is important for us to understand and appreciate. A conference and platform like this would not exist had those policies been done. Indeed, Kenya has become a leader. My fellow colleagues who stood on this platform have been highlighting what is happening today, currently, and I've been following this online. Great insights and ideas that have come here. But none of this happens in a vacuum. I put it to you, these 20 million plus young people will be in Kenya's workforce starting in this year moving forward. I call them Gen Z. You know them. Unlike us, Gen Z and their younger brothers, Gen Alpha, are and will be users of AI and self-made cybersecurity applications that are not necessarily known to us today, but are being developed. Today, using MS, a Microsoft Copilot, using simple language. Simple language like you and I are using right now. You can prompt complex code and it will give you robust results. This emerging generation knows how to use those tools and are beginning to use them. These emerging generations are using new tools to automate tasks, slowly rendering trades out of business. In just a few years, you will not need graphic designers the way we use them today. There are DIY AI tools that are there. In marketing and customer care, AI-generated bots. We will not be needing the call centers that many of us do have. Just using these current tools that we have, they're still in development, but amazing, amazing things they are accomplishing. Let me give you one example. The media industry, the NTVs, the Royal Medias, and Standard Groups are today facing an existential challenge. This emerging generation does not buy newspapers. Anyone here 25 years of age and below who has bought a newspaper in the past 1 month? They barely watch television. Advertising has moved into digital platforms. And it's now influencers that are engaging consumers. Citizen TV is competing for space with a 21-year-old influencer who's creating content in her room with her mobile phone. And she has 250,000 followers and subscribers. Traditional media as we know it may not exist 10 years from today. It will have to adapt. This emerging generation is excellent at curating information. They're more confident because they can engage with a lot of information. And all of this is virtually. They're more confrontational, but face-to-face, they're confrontational avoidant, mainly because most of their interaction has been online. They're very idealistic, most informed of all generations in this country because of their access to information, have greater access to decision makers than any other generation. I can point out many more of these traits. But as we talk about cybersecurity, behind all these systems that we have here, these processes, they have people that operate them. Nothing operates in a vacuum. We have criticized this generation, Gen Z, as entitled, maybe spoiled. They do not look or work hard. They don't have the staying power. Our politicians call them faceless, nameless, and the list can go on. There's something that I would like us to understand as they begin to join us in the workforce. I've given you a historical context and a current landscape. Here are things for us to consider moving forward as we talk about cybersecurity and the Internet of Things. COVID, way we work, it removed some of the infrastructure that we use, and that's why cybersecurity is now an even bigger issue, how we work. But the other thing is what happened on June the 25th here in Kenya. It showed us who Gen Z and Gen Alpha are. They are young people who are ambitious. They are young people who are exposed. They are young people who need to be mentored. What I'd encourage us as we begin to embrace this generation coming into the workspace is have a heart of empathy. Teach them what it means to move away from this and engage on this. They do not have those tools available to them because they've been on social media a lot. Create an enabling environment for authentic interaction. Because I said systems do not operate in a vacuum. They may sound tough, but they're less skilled in human interaction and personal interaction. A key thing that makes our systems robust. And lastly, as I close, don't worry, lunch is just about to be served, I hope. And by the way, it's on me. I've paid it. It's on for, okay. No, I'm just kidding. How do we lead this generation? And this is what I want to encourage you as we move forward. One, recognize that the leadership distance is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. A young person now can talk to the CEO like that, through an email, through a chat, through a next space. We can even talk to a tweet, our CEO. This generation are so used to that, and a leadership distance is no longer respected the way other generations has done. So interaction is going to be different. Number two, interaction will have to be collaborative. Places for having champions is reduced. This generation does not celebrate champions. They celebrate collaboration. It is important we work on creating environments where we work together. As the last speaker put it, with this great African proverb, if you want to go fast, you go alone. Rather, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with others. This generation actually embodies that. And lastly, as I close, most decision making will be evidence-based, or on how you process information as opposed to a gut and a hunch. We're talking about the next generation. I thought my place is to give context, because what we talk over here does not operate in a vacuum. Thank you.
Now, before we head for lunch, there are two announcements. One is from the Kenya School of Government, requesting to meet all public sector attendees at the corner there, as others are joining a lunch hour. And then there is a ride shop tomorrow for those who want to register. They can be able to get more information on the Cyber Pro desk on the 5th floor. And I think we have a desk on the 6th floor as well. So thank you so much for the time. Let us take at least 30 to 40 minutes for lunch and then be back at 2:10. Thank you so much. Public sector, don't forget.